we all get along with each other for the most part, you know. And I just looked at him as a brother who, you know, outside of, you know, the music, even in some of the music that he made, like Cadillac on 22 was actually, it was a message in that song. And I was, you know, just enthralled by that, you know. And every time I would see him after that, he just always had something to say. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I agree with what you're talking about. And so by the time I got on the phone with him, it wasn't like one of those things you get on the phone with somebody like, I really don't know what to say to this person because he's dumb and I have no, it wasn't that. It was, we got on the phone, the first conversation we had, we talked for 2.5 hours, and we talked about 3 things. We talked about being a black man, being a hip-hop, and being a grown black man in hip-hop. And those are the 3 things that we talked about. We didn't talk about, you know, who you feeling. It wasn't none of that. And we decided to make something, whether we were going to sell it or not, to make something that represented that. And that's what Death of a Popstar, that's how it really started. If we even called it Death of a Popstar, that's how it started. Let's just make some music, man, that, you know, we both grown, we both over 30. Let's just do some music that both represent us. And that's where we, you know, a lot of people that don't put us together, those are the 3 things that we are. Well, both over 30, we both are grown black men, and we from the South. What 4 things?
Well, and you both are hip-hop artists who have a whole other part of your life that is about contributing to the community and actually doing positive things.
Exactly.
We both teachers. We both are teachers by trade. We both have Grammys. And we both had that college experience. And more than anything else, something nobody ever talks about when it comes to me and Ninth Wonder is the fact that we come from small areas where everybody thinks we have the answers. Just because you see me on MTV don't mean I know everything. Exactly. Doesn't mean that I know how to run a record company properly. Doesn't mean, even though I look like $1 million after taxes, it may not necessarily equate that. And that's a pressure that people don't have. Like when you from a big city, you know, you have football players and basketball players and people with a lot of money. But when folks just see you, oh, you from Mississippi, you my ticket. Wow, that's a lot of pressure. And that's something that me and him shared. Like even having artists and having people's whole life in your hands, that's something that you cannot describe. And that's a pressure that it feels good to have another man that's in the same field that you are, that you can talk about. Like you have an artist looking up to you to save their lives. That's crazy.
And it can be something, I imagine, that if you were to talk about with someone who isn't in that situation, it could sound rather douchebaggy. You know what I'm saying? If they didn't know, if they couldn't relate to that experience.
Or selfish.
Yeah, it sounds like, oh, poor you. You know what I mean? Like, but in reality, it's sort of an awkward and difficult predicament to be in, especially when you're not able to help everybody.
Well, it's only a big deal if you care. Most people who are in the positions that we in don't give a fuck. If you hit, you hit, then you make me some money. If you don't, then you go back to the hood. I happen to care. That's one of my flaws. I happen to care about somebody's life. That's crazy. I'm on stage. You didn't get some message.
It's hard, man, being from North Carolina. Like, they say, you know, when you gonna put North Carolina on? I'm like, man, North Carolina, Hundred Counties, man. Like, it's not in the world I'm gonna put all of North Carolina on. And I hate when something happens to Jay-Z because I'm North Carolina's answer for Jay-Z. Like, is he really a Mason? Ninth? Don't you know? And I'm like, nah, man, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, but anytime that I work with somebody, whether it be Jay or Desi Shah, Eric Badu, like, I'm the answer now. I have the answer to the question. Right. I'm the statement.
Well, we heard him talk to you. He said,
yeah, I mean, you know, don't you know, man? For real? Like,
well, man, you were saying to me earlier, like, one of the main things that you guys relate on is being in hip-hop and being a man, you know what I mean? And actually being someone with responsibilities and handling adulthood as opposed to running around pretending to be a child. Which I think is one of probably the biggest reasons why the game is so infiltrated with bullshit is because we have so many grown-ups who are embarrassed to be 30 years old.
And grown-ups that are not in the game partaking in the bullshit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
One of the things that scared me the most is I saw a 37-year-old man, and I know him, he's actually a friend of mine, and he was on 106 in Park singing about sex to children. Like, these kids were 16, 17, 18, and that's awkward to me. Like, I hear a lot of cats telling me, man, why don't you do what? Where the old David Banner at? Like, dude, I'm over 30 now, homeboy. I shouldn't be in the club fighting. I'm not. And then I told this guy something one time that really scared him. Because I have the potential to be the old David Banner. Literally, I think 80% of the population isn't trained. I happen to do mixed martial arts. So I'm pretty good with my hands. Decent, you know. And I told him, I said, dude, what you have to understand is, he was like, well, we want to see if you're real. I said, well, the only way I can show you that I'm real is if I kill you. Y'all laughing, but I'm serious. Like, you want to see if I'm real, I'll kill you. I don't want to do that. I wrote on Twitter a couple days ago, and I'm the real Banner in case you don't want to hit me or something. Like, too scared to ask questions now. I said, I've chosen the path of peace, but it seemed like black folks just want me to take a piece out their ass. Like, I don't understand that. When I was out here in these streets beating the blood out of people's face, nobody had nothing to say. But when I got on that path of trying to do better, and then I realized that it came to me. The devil has no reason to attack you if you already going to hell. You know, so for me, it's been a constant struggle. And I want y'all to know, the people that's in here, when y'all hear Death of a Popstar, the old David Banner is not gone. I will get back to talking about ass and titties very soon. And I'm going to tell this crowd the reason why. My goal has always been to be the male Harriet Tubman. To go and get a group of knuckleheads, bring them to a certain place, and drop them off. Then you have to go back. That is the problem with so-called Christians. They get behind them four walls and forget about the people that they left. Your job is to be out there with the people. Jesus was not in a church. He was amongst his people. Matter of fact, when folks in the church is the one that put him up on that cross, if I am correct. Hint, hint. So for me, Death of a Popstar was important to me. I needed Death of a Popstar. Death of a Popstar was not for y'all soul. I was going crazy. I had been over there on that side too long. I had to come over here and charge my batteries. Came over here with Night Wonder, got my batteries charged, and don't get it wrong, I do love titties. I want to be honest with you because you hear a lot of political people. No, I'm being honest, that's what's wrong. Yes. The politicians and the teachers, a lot of these kids act like they don't like titties. I like titties. I'm sorry, ladies, I apologize. I think enough men in American society don't like titties anymore. I love them.
That is a platform I can support.
No, but let me tell y'all why. Let me tell y'all why I do this. I want to tell y'all why I do that. It's because I'm a man of flesh. I will make mistakes. It is better for me to stand up in here and tell you now that I love titties than for me to run for a political office and I bump into some titties by mistake and get closer to those titties and let y'all down. I'm letting y'all know right now, I'm going to let you down. But I have the best intents in the world for you and those titties. I'm sorry. That's what he got to put up with every day.